Hello, everyone. Welcome to Netcapital's live Q&A with Jinglz. We have Aaron, the CEO here. Aaron, thanks for joining us.
It's great to be here. Thanks, Rob.
And we appreciate everyone tuning in either live or in a recording. If you're watching this in recording, welcome. For everyone watching today, like I said, we're doing a live Q&A with the CEO and founder of Jinglz. We're going to ask some questions, dive into the business, and learn a little bit more about what the business does and the investment opportunity. So everyone's aware, Jinglz is currently live on Netcapital raising money, and anyone can invest in the business. All you need to do is go to netcapital.com/companies/Jinglz, and there will be a link to their offering page, both in the chat here live on Zoom, as well as in the description of this video if you're watching or recording. So what we'll do is I'm going to ask a couple questions of Aaron. We're going to dig into the business, and then anyone who's watching live is welcome to ask questions, and we'll slot those in as we can. And then if anyone's watching a recording and has additional questions for Jinglz, you can go to their Netcapital page, and there's a discussion board at the bottom. Ask your question there, and I'm sure we'll get it answered as quickly as possible. So with that, Aaron, again, thanks so much for joining us.
It's great to be here, Rob. Thanks again for inviting us.
Yeah, so just to kick it off, let's set the stage. Tell me, give me the elevator pitch of Jinglz. What are you guys? What do you do?
Great. So Jinglz is a technology company, and we've developed patented technology that uses the front-facing camera on a device to track people's engagement while video is playing, as well as tracking slight changes in their facial gestures to determine their emotional reactions as they're watching a movie trailer or a political ad or a TV commercial. And using that intelligence, we deliver that to an audience, to a panel audience, and they watch remotely through a mobile app where the video is delivered to them. And we track it second by second, frame by frame, and we deliver that intelligence back to the client, whether it be a creative agency or a brand, or again, a political candidate, or even a lawyer. And it helps them get more votes, win more cases, or sell more advertising. And so using artificial intelligence, it's an artificial intelligence powered solution to deliver results to these clients.
Sounds really exciting, especially in these times. So I definitely want to dig more into the product. But before we get there, can you talk to me about both yourself and the rest of your team? Tell us a little bit about your backgrounds, what makes you guys unique, how you came together, and what do you think is going to make you successful?
Great. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. And out of college, I went into the family business, which was picture framing, old-fashioned business. Without getting into too much detail, I grew the business for my dad, who was the owner, grew it 15x until there was an exit. So went from a little bit of a cottage-sized business to pretty much a medium-sized business in the industry, very sizable. I became a subject matter expert in digital photography in the early 2000s. Hewlett-Packard hired me as a consultant, and we planned and launched a proof of concept for one of their new large format printers. And to, again, make a long story short, within 6 months from them engaging me, we closed a $140 million sale. Probably in today's market, that's probably worth $250 million. So I've been around. I've been working on creating, commercializing technologies for the last 20 years. Started some businesses, had some successes, had some exits. Always, a couple of things didn't work out along the way, so you learn from those mistakes. But that's a little bit about me. Our team encompasses people with experience in all phases of whether it be software, whether it be advertising, marketing, sales. To give you an indication, our chief operating officer was the chief digital strategist at a $4 billion ad agency. He was also on the advertising board of MTV. You can see his profile on the Netcapital page, Bill Lixon. Our head of sales currently, Jonathan Brickman. If he's there, hi Jonathan, how you doing if you're watching? Jonathan just joined us recently to help us build funnels and pipelines for our outbound sales efforts right now, which just this week we've added over 30,000 prospective clients into our Salesforce database to start marketing to. So really starting to expand our sales efforts. And he comes out of startup businesses that have gone from $0 to $100 million in a very short period of time. So a lot of experience, exponential opportunities. Our advisory board and directors hail from Apple and Google and DoubleClick and even retail brands like Kohl's department store, worked with celebrities like Jennifer Lopez, Bernd Dolman. Again, all their profiles are on the page. So these people have been involved with multi-billion-dollar mergers and acquisitions. They put their integrity behind our company. They see a lot of opportunity for us, and we're really excited. We're humbled to have them join us on our quest. And all the investors that are involved with us also become ambassadors. And just this morning, one of our investors said, hey, I've got this state assembly candidate for you that could use your product. Let me make an introduction. And we appreciate that. So great team, really poised for exponential growth and success.
Sounds really exciting. So before we dig into the product itself, talk to me about the problem you identified in the market that you're trying to solve. What was the problem that kind of kept you up at night, that kind of spurred you to create the company?
Great. 50% of all advertising doesn't work. Or people skip ads. You know, like if you're familiar, you go on YouTube and you can ignore or skip the ads after 3 or 4 seconds. And also when you have an ad that people are watching, they don't, you know, a creator or the client never knows which 50% of their advertising is actually going to work. So getting insights from the creative, from the video is really paramount. And in the old world, people would go to focus groups. They would spend weeks or months and tens of thousands of dollars to gather data about 6 people in a room or 12 people in a room. And you just get just enough of a sample size to hopefully, you know, improve or, you know, understand your product and what the messaging of that you want to put out there. So by using our tech, we've been able to deliver that to an audience of say 100 people or 200 people that encompass different demographic groups. And we do it quickly so that we deliver the video, and within 30 minutes or so, people watch a 30-second video, a 60-second video, a 2-minute video. We track second by second their slight changes in their facial gestures and stuff like that. And then we interpret that intelligence to say, was the candidate appealing to the audience? Did they find the person trustworthy? Were they empathetic towards the ad itself? So all these kind of measurements and indexes now allow the creator to go back to our tool, and they could watch through a graph spikes and dips of 8 different emotions, how people are reacting in real time, and then say, you know what, 11 to 14 seconds, we need to take out. We thought that was a joke that we wanted to make, but it didn't really resonate with the audience. So let's edit that and optimize it. And case in point, people are familiar with Peloton, the exercise company. Back in November, they released a television commercial, and it was negatively reacted to by the public, and it was featured in both Bloomberg and Wall Street Journal. And the Monday following Thanksgiving, their stock dropped over $1 billion in value. And we back tested the video, Rob, and we actually found the results that we back tested to 100 males and 100 females. And it showed exactly how it was reported, that the first 7 seconds, people felt a certain way. And our system captured that all automated using artificial intelligence, using a panel audience that watched it remotely, contactless through a mobile app. And so that's the pain we're solving, is making better, you know, solutions and insights for the clients.
That's fascinating. That's a heck of a case study, and I remember that commercial. So let's dig into the product itself. So you've kind of alluded to it, and you talked to us a little bit about it, but talk to me kind of about what's the customer experience? What's the actual product that you would interact with?
Got it. So actually, we've actually built this. It's also patent pending, where we built almost like an Amazon one-click method. We built a self-serve platform where if you're an advertising agency and Coca-Cola is your client and you're filming a new commercial, you can take the commercial, log into your account, upload the video. I want to select 25 to 34-year-old women in California and publish a test. It takes less than 3 minutes to push the video test out the door. And what happens next is all the people that are invited to that test, and it's a closed group, and all people that have opted in, so there's no issues with privacy. They've all agreed to use the front-facing camera of their phone to capture their reactions. They get a message. They get a text message or an email that says, hey, you've been invited to watch this 2-minute video. And by the way, they get an incentive. They'll get a $2 Amazon gift card for their participation. And they understand that there's a certain amount of time that they have to watch it before the test expires, because the ad agency might say, I want to get this results back in 2 hours because I'm in the middle of editing. So now people watch it on their phone organically, and they watch it, and we capture all that information with our tech, and we deliver it back to the client's dashboard so that they can see a graph of what that looks like. And we also give them, again, here's how the audience reacted, some basic indexes.
Interesting. So talk to me about the audiences themselves. How do you guys find them? How big is your kind of pool of audience members?
So the audience itself is growing because we're recruiting all the time. And with artificial intelligence, with quantitative data, we sell it in groups of 100 blocks. So to capture data, we do it in the aggregate. So if we get 100 people to watch, which we do, and for the first 5 seconds, 72% of them had a happy emotion, and 20% had a confused emotion. We have enough of a sample size with AI to deliver results. And we get people who go to our site and they basically fill out a questionnaire to participate. They give us their gender, their ethnicity, their age, their location, and then we put them into our database. And when the client says, hey, I want to target this type of group, we deliver that audience to them.
That's interesting. And so if I'm a client and I've submitted a video, it goes to this group of people, they watch it. Talk to me about the AI that you use. Kind of, where do you get it? Is it proprietary, and what does it actually track?
So we've spent quite a few years and quite a few $1 million developing this product already to date, which we've raised previously. And so we have libraries and databases of different type of images that we compare back reactions to those libraries, and then it scores it. So every time, like your reaction right now or my reaction right now, it goes through all our algorithms and our data science to say, okay, based on the right eyebrow lifting up and the nostril flaring or the chin being in a certain position or the ears, we determine that as a surprise index. And we'll score that at 82% for that particular frame, for that particular second, for that particular person. And it's processing that for every single one of those 100 or 200 people that are watching the video for the same frame for the same second. And then as it scores all that information, it then determines that this emotion scored the highest. So we're going to interpret that as surprise for that particular second, for that particular frame, based on the overall audience. And it does that every single second of the video. And based on the different emotional reactions or the engagement or even neutrality, where people watch it, stone-faced kind of thing, it has a meaning. When you're evaluating quantitative data, there's meanings to this. And you can say, yes, people like this, or they didn't like it, or, they found this person to be, trustworthy, or they found the content to be, engaging. So, and that tech, so that's how the tech works in the background.
Yeah. And then what's the customer experience like once you've put it through the system and you know what people like and don't like? Is it up to the client to determine what to do with, like, someone likes the section or doesn't like the section, it's up to them to determine what to do with that section of the video? Or are you going to start recommending how they change the video to make it more appealing?
So what we do is, right now we're delivering this report. If you can see some meters and index, I don't know if it's clear.
Sorry, I was muted, but yes, I can see it.
Okay, and so we basically create a background and purpose for the test, what the objectives are, and we give a little summary, and then we just have these different indexes, whether they find it credible or appealing or engaging and so forth. So they have these snapshots, and that helps them understand how their video is performing with that test audience. And then again, they can drill down into it, and they can they can actually play back their video on our platform. And I don't have a screenshot here available, but you could actually, I think there's a screenshot available right on the Netcapital page that shows a graph, and it shows spikes and dips of the different emotions that are being captured. And again, there's a cheat sheet that says what this means. If it's confusion and you see confusion dropping, what that means, is the audience engaged, etc.
That's great. And so kind of zooming back out from the product itself and just talking about kind of the progress of the company so far, what's been the reaction of your customers, and kind of talk to me a little bit about the progress of the company in terms of customer base, things like that.
We have 4 different buckets that we're currently marketing to, and we just started marketing and sales efforts right before COVID hit. So we were right on track, and then the world turned upside down. That is, we have media and entertainment, like film companies, Paramount, Disney. You know, we're reaching out to all these people. We're having dialogues with them. Netflix. There's the advertising agency and creative agency, where we did a demo video for the nonprofit organization care.org. You know, the ones that raise capital for starving children around the world. And another category is actual direct to brands. So consumer product companies. Some I can't even mention at this point because, again, they're testing content. All this is done before they publish their ads. You know, before they go to market. They want to keep it closed and understanding the insights of their products. And then we recently, during COVID, we actually started reaching out to lawyers and saying, oh, you have a video deposition of a witness or your client. Why don't you, in order to prepare for your trial, why don't you see what a potential jury might think of your client? So using sort of a mock jury or an audience to gauge their interest has proven very valuable. So we just completed a test for a medical malpractice firm, and they actually uploaded video of the opposing counsel's expert witness. And the attorney who's working on the case, they recorded the video deposition through Zoom. So it wasn't as clear as they would when they usually send in a videographer to record it inside like a mediation room, and then they have it and then they study it. But usually they put a lot of resources and expense to study this. And now they can get that data back using AI. And when I did a follow-up call with her, she said, I had this feeling about this expert witness, but this test really validated my assumptions. And now I can actually leverage your report, which is something like this. I can leverage your report and go back to opposing counsel and try to even settle the case in advance for more money, because the people didn't like the expert witness. So that's the kind of insights and deliverables that could really make the difference between winning a case or losing a case, or preparing a criminal case for a jury and doing jury profiling and some other stuff. So a lot of great solutions that we have. And that's just for legal. Again, we have media and entertainment, films. Are people going to buy movie tickets? So you test the movie trailer. And so forth.
Yeah, and that legal case seems like a really kind of creative and interesting niche market. But then, of course, all the other ones, you can see where the market's going for this.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, that niche market, that's a small firm that has 15 attorneys that do 10 to 15 caseloads a year, and that's 175 potential cases that they would want to use our product for market research. And they could spend $5,000 on a case or $10,000 on a case. So that one firm alone could generate $150,000 to $200,000 in revenue a year. That one firm. And there's over 100,000 personal injury lawyers alone in the U.S. And then there's criminal, and then there's civil, and then there's trial, and then there's litigators, and there's medical malpractice. So this is a huge opportunity for us. Huge. It's off the charts. There's a court reporting company that just does court reporting for law firms. They do $400 million in revenue a year for court reporting. So big opportunity.
Yeah, that's really exciting, and this opens up a whole bunch of questions that I want to dive down. So I'm going to try to keep them in some kind of order. So you brought up a lot, let's start with, we were just talking about the market size in the court space. Talk to me about the overall market size, right? Kind of what market are you entering and how big is it looking overall?
Very simple answer, Rob. This is a new category that sort of, I mean, people have been using emotional intelligence for years, but never with artificial intelligence. And it's projected that what's called the EDR market, or emotion detection recognition market. And it's projected to reach $65 billion over the next few years by 2023, I believe, and it's still expanding. But if you go back 5 years ago, it was zero. So it's like a brand new category, and we're just one of a handful of companies that are in this space as it's coming out of the womb.
That's fantastic. And then, so talk to me, we know how big the market is. Talk to me about your business model. Like, how does it work? You talked a little bit about the law firm and how much potential business they could be, but what does it actually look like to engage with Jinglz? What's your business model?
It's software as a service. So people subscribe to our service. The model is basically you pay per minute per person for capturing, I guess, this survey data. And again, we sell it in blocks of 100. And basic model is approximately $5 per person per minute. So a basic group test would be about $500. But the clients will know that they're doing 20 or 50 or 100 videos a year or tests. So they'll say, you know what, we want to buy 50,000 minutes. And so based on volume, we'll discount the cost of the minute. And then they'll pay us 50,000, 100,000, whatever is a subscription model.
Okay, yeah. So basically, customers are buying minutes of panelists' time to watch the videos.
Correct.
And you mentioned earlier that people might get a $2 gift card or something to Amazon for watching the video. So is that basically your cost of audience? Is around gift cards and things like that, plus just the cost of the software itself?
Yeah, so we've integrated the cost of the reward and the seamless way that we fulfill it to the panel right through our platform. And so, yeah, it's all encompassing. We just make it's like pay one price type of thing, make it simple, not complicated. And again, all they do is they upload a video. That's it. And then they just wait back for the results. Really simple process.
This is a little out of left field, but it's something that occurred to me. Let's say you're a movie studio and you're testing trailers. Any way to pay the panelists in gift cards to the movie theater, so to speak, in your own, to watch your own product?
It's a great question. We're in the middle of doing some updates on our gift card fulfillment process. So until now, we've sort of done one-on-one. When a client places an order, they can choose an Amazon gift card or a Walmart gift card or Panera, Dunkin' Donuts, and decide on their own value for the gift card. We're actually changing that so it'll actually provide a credit to the panelist, and then the panelist can go to our gift card store, and then they could use their credits towards any type of gift card. So if AMC or another theater chain is available for a gift card in the store, then they can apply those credits and buy the movie tickets through that process. I'm still here. We lose you? Okay.
Sorry, for some reason it wasn't unmuting on me.
Okay.
There we go, got it back.
We're back.
Wouldn't be a COVID webinar without some kind of technical difficulty. Okay, so that's interesting. So talking, kind of looking down the road, you seems like you're out to customers, you're starting to build that base. What are the next major milestones you're working towards?
It's really about ramping up sales. And then there's also, once we start getting into a sort of a more of a flow, there are other markets that we want to use our technology for. So we could be using our technology for security, for military, for government, for access controls. there's a lot of different use cases that we can explore and develop for our tech. So I'd like to go down that path too. But it's about resources. It's about being focused. Right now we're laser beam focused on this panel audience insight solution. And but again, there are other solutions for our tech.
Sure. And a reminder as an aside, if anyone watching has any questions for Aaron, now's a great time to ask. We're coming towards the end of the prepared questions, but so Aaron, as you, not only as you look ahead to both the market you're trying to capture now, the possible other future markets, what do you see as the long-term goal for the company? And what are, I know it's early days and it's speculative, but what do you think about kind of exits for potential investors? What do you guys have in mind on that front?
Companies in our space have a high return on investment on revenue, not profits, not on EBITDA. I'll take an example, a company called SurveyMonkey. If you're familiar with SurveyMonkey, they're currently trading on NASDAQ at $3.5 billion value, $3.5 billion, and they're doing a little over $300 million in revenue. So we're really looking at a multiple of 10x revenue as a valuation ultimately, and our goal is really to drive sales to really increase our revenue so we can get an incredible return on investment for our shareholders. And that could be in the form of initially from profits, a dividend or a distribution. Also perhaps some M&A where a company might want to acquire us. Again, we've got an incredible advisory board. Mark Coleman, he's the former national sales director of Google. He's got contacts at Adobe and Intel, and of course Google. And the right time, he could walk us in there when it makes sense and see if there's an opportunity to work with them. And then so we could either sell the company or we could take the company public as the story gets stronger. And again, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at potentially 10x and higher ROI for well, that's 10x on revenue. So based on what we're selling the shares for right now, that could be 20, 25x or more on the investment price now.
That's certainly exciting potential, and let's hope you're able to execute and continue to build your customer base and continue to grow. That's very exciting.
Well, it is exciting, but we've had a team in place that has done it. So it's not like we're just startup entrepreneurs. I guess we're middle-aged startup entrepreneurs, and we have experience and we've had success stories. So we think this is a huge opportunity, especially in this emotion detection recognition category where it's growing so fast, and as well as the opportunity that we do solve a pain in the marketplace is how do you get data fast and economically? And until now, it hasn't been achievable until now.
That's super exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I think, Aaron, that's a great spot for us to wrap up. We appreciate you so much taking the time to dig into this with us and taking time to explain the opportunity. For everyone watching, thanks for taking the time. If you're watching this on a recording, we hope you found it informative. As a reminder to everybody, Jinglz is currently raising capital on netcapital.com. You have a link both in the chat here and in the description of this video. And if anyone has additional questions about the company, anything like that, they're welcome to go to netcapital.com, find Jinglz, or go to the link in the description and ask a question on the discussion board. And if you're interested in investing, there's an invest button right there on the page. So with that, thanks, Aaron, for taking the time.
Thanks for inviting me today, Rob. Appreciate it.
Of course, appreciate it. Thanks everyone for joining, and hope everyone stays safe. We'll see you all soon. Take care.